Desmond here from Performance Destination. If you're looking to have your car tuned, whether it's on the dyno or remote, reach out to us and see what we can do for you. We meet the needs on all computer systems. All right, we're back with another Evo. Customer just recently purchased this car. He's been having some drivability issues, some rich condition issues, some cold start issues, a lot of the basic stuff that I feel like a car should run right. They should not. These cars shouldn't be a wide open throttle car. We should be able to drive these cars good. Whether it's cold start conditions, hot start conditions, any conditions really. So it's just like, we're going to start working and dialing everything in one step at a time and start seeing where his problems are and work it piece by piece. So this customer already drove this car here. So it's already at operating temperature. So I can't really work too much of a cold start, but we're going to fire it up. We're going to see how it runs as is before I even get busy and start working on it. And let's see. At full operating temperature too. Just a little too rich. Alright, so now we've made some changes for the whole thing. We're going to fire the car up, turn the ignition key on, and we're going to fire it up. It's going to be I'm not going to press no gas pedal. I'm just going to lean in and just crank it over. Fires right up. Let the wideband come alive. Takes a little bit for it to heat up, and then it will start reading here shortly. There you go. Perfect. Exactly how I like it. Perfect AFR. Now we can begin. We're about to calibrate this wideband for his car. So we got the sensor out the exhaust. Remember, always pull the sensor out the exhaust. Never want to do it with the in exhaust. It has to smell free air. This is the condition of his sensor when he came in for tuning. So it is a little black. It is very questionable. So we'll know. The gauge will tell us if this is a passing sensor or a failing sensor. So let's calibrate the gauge now. All right, so now we have, power to the gauge, and we're gonna go into the settings internally of the gauge, and we're going to calibrate this. Regardless if it's been calibrated before, if you're getting dyno tuned, or if you're gonna go out and race, or whatever you want to do, just always make sure your sensor is in healthy work conditions. So we're gonna press mode, press it again, press it again, press it again, and we're going to go to cal and press set and configure, and then it's going to do a free air count, and it's going to start counting up until it reads the sensor's condition to make sure it's working condition or failing condition, and then we'll see the condition here shortly. It's in passing condition. So when it's in passing condition, that means the sensor is good, and now it is actually going to read more accurately, because just in case if this sensor was installed and it was never calibrated, we want to make sure it's reading right. So we're gonna start working on this. I already got a lot of the day-to-day stuff, idle start, AC on and off, already start calibrated and dialed in like how it needs to work smooth and efficient. this guy, this customer only has one fuel pump. It's a fully built setup, a Garrett turbo, but it's only on a single 450, 2150cc injectors. But I don't know how much fuel I'm gonna have for the power level of where he maybe want to go. There's not no goal at mine. There's not no target at 9. But when I'm tuning these cars, it always starts off as in like, oh, whatever is whatever, and then we start making some power, and then it's like, okay, can we get to this number? But we'll see how far we'll get today. It's only on a single 450 fuel pump. I don't know how much we're able to push it. He recently purchased this car. It's built, it's used. It was tuned down South Florida before, but when he brought it in, he was like, bro, this thing is running rich, it's running pretty rough. It's cruising rich, idling rich, AC on and off. It was all over the place. So like, we started off on a brand new calibration, brand new map, and just working every little step, piece by piece by piece by piece. This way the car feels good, drives good, and it has power behind it. So let's see. So on this car, I've just been slowly working it up. I have to be even more cautious than an average car. When someone buys a car that they didn't build, or they bought a car that they don't know the condition of, they don't know certain things of it. So I got to work it up in slow increments. It's running really good. It's feeling really good. The fueling is starting to come around now where I have it trailering where I want to. The boost is starting to come around to where I want to, how I have it trailering. And it's starting to like show signs of like big gains. So now we're going to keep working at it and keep stepping it up. And let me show you what things are looking like so far. So far, we just worked it up from the first pull, second pull, third pull, and I just keep working up small in increments. A lot of the runs you can see like shorter RPM, and then I tend to then start revving it out higher because I want to make sure everything's healthy. It's starting to get there. The last 2 runs, but previously before the last one, it was kind of started getting close to the boost cut. So then I kind of upped the limit and start trailering the fuel better. And now it's starting to look good. But then we're going to start playing with the boost controller so we can try to see where we can build or how much more we can make it stand up and carry out and start revving it out higher. But so far, so good. It's definitely coming around. I know I can't push it too much because it's only on a single pump. So I'm pretty sure we're going to be pretty close to tapping it out real soon. But we'll see. Keep on chucking. Honestly, I feel like this is a good point. I really don't know too much details on the side of that turbo like that. Like, what the car used, so I don't really want to go too much. I think it's 673, not 673. And I feel like if we go up any more, I think we're gonna start maxing out the fuel pump. Duty is decent. It's not max. Everything's not max out, but it's pretty good AFR. It's 11.2 all the way straight through, so I know I have more fuel in it. They have no breakup, no hesitation. I already got the plugs, put the new plugs in there. It's gonna feel strong. I feel like because of the power and the torque. You know, the curve looks good. If we got more in it, I feel like we got more in it. But if your goal was only 600, then there's no point in keep pushing it. Because I'm not gonna push it more than what your goal was. At first, I asked you how much you want to make, and you was like, well, whatever you wanna make, whatever you wanna do. So I was like, all right, well, I could have stopped at that one if that was the case. So like, this is gonna feel really strong. I can feel it. I can feel it on the dyno. It's squatting pretty damn strong on the dyno, and I can feel it. As soon as I let off the throttle, I can feel the whole chassis jump up. So I know on the street, when you hit it, it's gonna accelerate fast. It's gonna bury the RPM fast. It's gonna give you that oh shit moment. I'll guarantee it. Like, and for that size turbo, you know, I gotta put specs on that, like millimeter specs, pressure field, exhaust field. It's doing okay. It's a little lazy. I feel like it's a little lazy a little bit, but once it gets in the upper RPM range, then it starts like coming alive. But it's very lazy, but which is not a bad thing because you're not trying to be a weekend race car and it's not like your stock transmission. And like, don't get me wrong, this transmission will take way more power than this. But if I could keep it a little bit more gradual, just to prolong the life of it even more, it's even better. But I feel like this is a good point. The car drives great. Every single time I got in the car, I turned that key. It wasn't like it was cranking. It was as soon as it hits the first, it fired right over immediately. AC on and off is great. Cruising is great. Idle, decel, never once installed on me. And nothing like. It feels like you just have a bone stock car right now. Like drivability wise, it feels good. So, like that's why it took me a little bit to work all that out. Although I was doing a few more runs than I wanted to because I didn't trust it because you didn't build it. You don't know too much specs of it. You know, so I have to like slowly start stepping up because if it starts overheating or if it starts pushing the head gasket or if it started smoking or like I have to like build my confidence and make sure the fuel is going in the right direction. And then once I started realizing that, then I started like really like turning the boost controller up and started working. So there's more left here, 100%. If you go with a double pumper setup, upgrade that the fuel pressure regulator to a Weldon one, and a double pumper. It could be two 450s or two 525s. You know, we can turn this thing up to about a good 40 pounds boost and see what it does. You know, if you got I-beam rods, I think I saw that on your list. You have I-beam rods, so like I think you have enough injector, depending on your fuel line size. I don't know what the hanger setup you have. It's a factory. You probably a factory hanger with a single pump. But yeah, you have enough. You know, you'll bigger fuel pump, better regulator. You'll have enough for we'll run 40 pounds through this shit, and you'll start. You know, you'll probably get up in that 600 pound range, or I don't know. I don't know what the turbo is gonna tap out at. I gotta get the details of the turbo. You didn't really tell me the details much. You just said what series it is, and that was it. So like, I don't know wheel size, housing size. I think it's a V-band on the exhaust compressor housing that connects to the manifold. I think that looks like a V-band. I'm gonna move that blanket to the side. Yeah, overall, it runs great. I think we're good at this level. If you're good right here, I'll stop right here.
I'm good.
Yeah. And I'll just double check some stuff on drivability, and we're all set. We'll go out the street. Good test drive. Fucking guys making too much noise out there, yo. All right, so we're gonna double check everything, make sure everything is solid. We're gonna run through the drivability one more time and make sure everything is good. You know, I love to try to start cars with no gas pedal. Just kind of get in there and fire it right up. way that looks. Look good to me. I like it. All right, so let's turn the AC on, and we're gonna test out all his functions, make sure everything runs and does everything good. So this is AC off, and there's two AC on. Looks good. Looks really good. Idle is steady. Idle is super steady. Air-fuel ratio looks good. And now let's turn the AC off and make sure the idle quality doesn't jump around. Still good. Idle is still steady. Still where it needs to be. Alright, now this car is happy. Perfect. So now everything is done with this car. Drivability is smooth. Calibration is fully dialed in. It's fully set up how it should be. The car is making good power, like how it should be. We're happy with it, you know. It took a while to get everything ironed out, but we're happy with it, and it's running really well, really good, really smooth. And we're happy. I didn't want to, you know, rush this setup, rush the process of dialing this car in. You know, these customers come from far, and I want to make sure, like, when they leave here, it runs good. The only thing is just the cold start, because the car already came. He drove the car here without a trailer, so I couldn't really work that. But I kind of already know how to scale it a little bit for cold start stuff. So, you know, if I need to, then I can always log on remotely, or it's always best to leave the car with me overnight, and then I can do next day cold start. This way it's really, really cold, engine cold. But yeah, this car runs phenomenal now. You know, I set up his two-step because he wanted his two-step, you know, and it builds some boost. It sounds hella strong, and everything from power, drivability, AC on and off, cruising, startup, everything has to be fully dialed, like it's comfortable for him to enjoy this car again. That's what I like to do. All right, let's get this car off. Let's get this car off the dyno. And that was with no foot on the gas. I love it. This car is running really good. I love it. There we go. Let's go. All right, go ahead. That shit feel just now.
Fire, yo. That shit rips.
That shit wild as fuck.
Damn.
That shit violent.
Puts you in your seat, bro.
Violent. I saw the whole nose lift up, bro.
Then
Shit
I
is
squatted down and just took off.
violent, bro. Violent. All right, go ahead. Oh my God.
Damn.
Damn.
That shit came back.
Yo, hold on, yo. Let me show everybody this shit. Yo, this boy broke his had a seatbelt on, broke the seatbelt from the G-force. That shit's crazy, bro.
Damn.
Nobody ever fucking broke this shit before, man. Seatbelt must have grabbed so damn tight. Watch, I'm gonna turn the AC on. Still good. Still good. So smooth. AFR is nice and smooth. All right, brother. So we just finished this session. Tell me how everything went just now today, and tell me how the car feels and drivability and performance now.
Yeah, so everything's super smooth from first startup to just drivability.
Right.
Feel stop. And then the pulls, oh my God, it like puts you back in your seat. It rips.
Right.
Perfect.
How was the drivability? How was your drivability and stuff like that? How was the car running beforehand, and what is it's running like now?
Before it was idling super rough. It was very jumpy. The throttle was touchy. This just feels smooth, like stop. I can't believe it.
Yeah, yeah.
On a standalone, it's running like this. It's crazy. So
Yeah. So how did it feel when you all those pulls you just made on the street? What that felt like?
perfect, yo. Like it really put me back in my seat. I fucking broke some shit in the back of the car. Like it's crazy. I'm like shaking right now.
Yo, it feels good, bro. I told you you gonna have that old shit moment, bro.
I
All right,
definitely
man. Feels good, bro. All right, brother. Desmond Pierre here, back again with another session, another customer, new customer. He has recently purchased this car. He never had anything this fast, like what we did today. You know, he just purchased this car, so we didn't really know. I didn't really have too much backstory on the condition or who built it or specs. He was just told what kind of rods, pistons, and kind of some of those simple internals and the turbo system and fuel system. I wanted to work it up in small increments, so I'm not making full pulls right away, like initially. So I wanted to work it up in small step RPM by RPM, and let off and try to build the fuel tables in the right direction. And then once I got there, then I started kind of cooking and jamming on it with the boost. Now this car had limitations because it only was working on a single pump, and because he's only on a single pump, I didn't want to jam on it too much, too hard. And you know, I wanted to keep it kind of safe because originally he didn't have any goals in mind of power he wants to make. So all I wanted is to have something nice and strong for him. It's a built setup, so standalone, and he loved it. This car ran phenomenal today, start to finish. Everything he mentioned to me about drivability, startup, cruising, the takeoff, AC on and off, everything. I wanted to make sure I address all of that first before I even started making rips on the dyno. Because I want him to make sure when he takes this car, it's gonna feel like exactly what he wanted to overcome, or the issues he wanted to face. So I fixed everything one by one, you know, and then I gapped his plugs, take a look at the plug condition, make sure that the tune's going the right way, not running too rich, not too much, not too less of timing. Try to get my boost table for my boost curve right. And I didn't want it to jam on it too hard, too early. I wanted to kind of like let it taper out a little bit. So, because he never had a car this fast. Now, a lot of the times when people come to me when they get tuned, if they never had a car this fast, I'm going to build the tune a certain way. I'm not going to let it eat as soon as he smacked the throttle. I'm going to let it kind of gradually build a little bit further out. This way, it's something he can get used to for this level of power. He never had anything this fast, like I said. So I wanted to make sure I fix all his issues. Car makes more power, and the car feels damn good for him in every condition possible. We finished today right at 673 and 543 for pound of torque. I told him at that torque level, this car is gonna really move. It's gonna skate. Sure enough, as soon as we rolled out, he said this car already moves off the line smoother than it was before. As soon as we went for our first few pulls on the street, this thing was ripping. Like, he was shifting gears like if he already knew what this thing was about to do. But this car felt really good at this power level. The horsepower and torque, it carries up and it plateaus and it stays flat. It doesn't fall off. It doesn't, look inefficient, but it looks really efficient on the logs, the graph, the readings, plug readings, the performance, and how the car feels. I just want to make sure these cars feel good and it runs safe for him, and also has maximum drivability comfort for him. That's the main thing, is to making sure these cars run strong, but they still feel and drive like stock. That's the best thing. That's the best feeling, when you can have a balance of both in hand. That's a happy car. That's a happy customer. If you too would like to work with us, just like how he did, fixing his idle issues, drivability issues, AC issues, boost issues, car was running too rich, fueling issues, everything's fixed. You can reach me at 941-268-7493, or you can catch me on all platforms of social media at Performance Destination. Whether if it's dyno tuning, remote tuning, or travel tuning, where we can come to you, we meet the needs of all computer systems. Thank you for watching. Until next time.
Desmond here from Performance Destination. If you're looking to have your car tuned, whether it's on the dyno or remote, reach out to us and see what we can do for you. We meet the needs on all computer systems.